was meant to warn me before I went live, but it didn't do it. Oh well. We've gone live anyway.
Oh joy.
Very short pre-stream.
Gosh, good evening, lads.
Yeah.
Right, I give Jake 90 seconds into the stream to waste channel points.
Yeah, absolutely. That reminds me, I need to get the thing up. But the first thing I want to do is a bit of ASMR before we properly get started. So that was pathetic.
Ah, yeah, hold on. I've got juice. Let's see if I can top that. Yeah, we go. Pre-stream ASMR. There you go. Probably not that much better, but it's something. Gets us prepped for a 2-hour marathon.
Oh, this just no rain, please.
We can dream.
Yeah. I wonder, is there a way? View request queue. Can I do that from Streamlabs? Well, I mean, I sort of can. I accidentally
Oh well.
did it 4 times, but
Well, prayers have been answered, so
yeah. Starting off dry, it seems. So, I suppose we ought to get this underway.
if we must.
If we must indeed. And on that note, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fair Play Racing League. On the Thursday night, of course, it's the Tier 1s. This time we are on round 14, I think. And yeah, so we're going around Marina Bay, of course, Singapore. And well, it's one of the longer tracks on the calendar, and I'm sure it'll be all good fun come at the end of the stream. But as always, I am your host, David Lolface, on the Thursday night. Joining me this week, away from his usual spot on the Friday, at least for this stream anyway. Introduce yourself, sir.
It's Cruiser 1872, and if you get any damage around this track, you best beg for a safety car.
Yep. That's a man speaking from experience, I gather, after last night.
It's lonely, put it that way. If you're by yourself, this track is very, very lonely. At
I
least
think
visually, it's good.
yeah. I'm kind of thankful that as this is the track that could go very, very long, especially with wet weather. Thankfully, it is a night race. I feel like my eyes would start hurting if I had to drive that much in this game with the sun blaring. And well, let's say a big hello in the chat as my camera does not want to change. Big hello in the chat then to Colin, who has been the first to let himself known. So yeah, well, welcome to the stream as always. Nice to see you, and yeah, of course, new tier 4 div head, and
Oh,
well, yeah, there's a reason why the old one had to step
wait,
down.
wait, why me? Gary, what did I do to you? Anyway, Flipper just starting a lap now, and so might as well get this out of the way. Into turn 1. Ooh, daddy. Hard on the brakes, and then turn 2. This way, the horse's curb in towards turn 3, and I hope you're happy, Gary. I really do.
Yeah, well, it's a good way to start off tonight's stream with a big old daddy, and knowing that I won't have to do it for the next half an hour. Happy days. Speaking of happy days, or more specifically, happy birthdays, well, it's our second favourite Scotsman's birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Scotsman. And I'm sure he's not watching anyway, so don't, yeah, whatever. Make sure everyone in the Discord has said happy birthday to the Scotsman.
And I suppose a thank you to Henk, who's tier 1, 15 months and on that streak as well. So thank you for that, Henk. And welcome to the stream as well, Drownsy, with a yo yo yo. Typical. And hello, Drownsy.
Yeah, he's always it's just very much like his driving. He's definitely quiet, but he is always there. And before you know it, pow, right at the front. So yeah, good to see you, Groundsy. I remember back in the days, I think when he first joined, he was in the Merc, I was in the Merc, and I was constantly calling him Groansy, and yeah, you love that. So
Well,
Split Flipper was fastest.
Yeah, you're not the first one to call him Groansy. So put it that way. And I'm just watching as well to see who else is actually on a lap, and currently the only driver is LAR Lives in the Aston Martin, just heading up towards the chicane now, going down the Esplanade Bridge, as that's Flipper, I think, just backing off from their first run. And a 38.0, it's a decent banter lap for the McLaren driver, and a few other drivers out on track. We got Mr. Rob Kelly starting a lap in the Haas this evening as one of our reserve drivers, and Lives, that's very deep there into the first chicane, and maybe the last time we actually see that part of the track. Of course, Singapore getting a new layout in which you completely get rid of the first two chicanes going underneath the stands, and I think honestly it's a decent change from a game perspective, and hopefully it's a better change from a racing perspective, as Lives was a 39.3, definitely lost time there in that final sector. Like I was saying, we got Rob Kelly just starting, actually, going down towards turn 9 now, up towards the old Singapore slime section of the track, and collateral adds on an outlap as well in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, so they're coming out in dribs and drabs at the moment. Really not very active start to Q1 here. But, I mean, it's not a bad lap from Splitter Flipper. You should be fairly happy with that. Lives, on the other hand, yeah, is really... he's lost some time, especially with that off in sector... At the start of Sector 3, it was. And, well, a few more will be out soon enough. I swear Collateral Ads has been on an outlap for about... I don't know, I'm sure he went out at the start of the session. But anyway...
I think that might be a sighter lap. Just starting his lap now.
Yeah, but Rob Kelly, who is finishing his lap right now, he runs out of DRS, but that doesn't stop him. He goes a tenth faster than Splitter Flipper and is in provisional first place.
Again, just going through the field, we've got Ermine on their outlap, and Sam Geno, another one of our reserves tonight, in the Red Bull, so no bias to be shown from me. But Collateral Lads, I think he's someone we all want to see him do well, to be honest. You know, especially after I think it was Leo last night. He had a bit of a poor race, but showed good determination and picked up a couple of points in the Ferrari. So I think Collateral Lads he's taking a bit of momentum with him after last night, and I think Silver State Boy might have called me out on that, saying it's false. But come on, it's a father and son team. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, Collateral Dads then is coming through Sector 3 now. And like you said, it's the last time we're going to see this. If Codemasters have actually profiled the new track, I doubt it. No. I suspect we'll be driving again on the same layout in 23. But maybe that's just the inner cynic. Let's have a look now as he rounds the last corner. Across the line, it's a 38.5, good enough for P3 at the moment. About 4 and a bit tenths off Splitter Flipper in second. But it's a good time on the board for certain.
Yeah, not too bad for Collateral Ads. And of course as well, I should say as well, as I've just seen there, Sam Geno invalidating going down the end of Raffles Boulevard, the first of, I believe, 3 DRS zones on this track. The first one being where Sam just invalidated, so easy to do on on that curb. The second one is down the Esplanade Bridge, just after the hairpin, where I believe it was Felipe Massa made that very famous overtake on Bruno Senna all those years ago, getting all out of shape, but still made it stick up to the hairpin. And the final DRS straight is down the main pit straight itself. So a lot of opportunity for overtaking, but that being said as well, last night, especially from a bit of experience, it's so difficult to get an overtake done because the setups everyone's running are usually very high downforce, so the DRS effect is a bit offset. So I'm just wondering if we will see many overtaking tonight, if not at all. And Roundsy saying, is it not the Anderson Bridge? I couldn't tell you, to be honest, because I'm not a walking Wikipedia.
You could have fooled me. The Anderson Bridge. Well, if it's not, I think we should campaign for it to be called that, because that is an absolute stonking name. So Ermine then is going to be the first runner to come out on the medium tyres and set a lap. Let's see what it is. It's a 38.3, so he's put himself in P3, and that is a good lap from the AlphaTauri. Looking to follow on from last night's, domination by the Alphas. They did, of course, get a 1-2, and some excellent teamwork being shown in the process as well, which was refreshing to see after a few occasions, shall we say, last week out in Zandvoort. Ferrari. Sorry, got something in my throat, Cruiser.
It's pollen season, David. I fully understand.
Yeah. So let's have a look at who's come out. So Ads is just starting his lap. There's an Alfa Romeo coming to the line, and that's Strepo just starting his lap. So let's hop to Colin, who has invalidated. So never mind. Henkers, nope. Dynamo Dan. Right.
There we go.
So I didn't quite catch the time through Q2, but across the line he comes, does a 139.3. But
Ooh.
Sam Geno, straight to the top of the timing boards, goes P1 with a 137.6. That's a great lap from him. Jock also going into P3 on a 38 flat. Yeah, it's an impressive lap there from the Red Bull driver. Do you think he's do you reckon he's had his Red Bull before the race?
Well, after that lap time, I wouldn't put it past him, either that or a Monster Energy, because that was a very monstrous lap from Sam Geno. And I think for all he is actually, I believe, a reserve driver in this tier, he has shown on his day he can be a very, very quick driver, as I'm seeing there. Jensen just leaving the pits now. And I should mention as well, obviously, with it being a full qualifying format, with only 16 drivers, only one driver at least is going to be getting knocked out in the session. So if you're looking towards the likes of maybe Collateral Ads up in 6th, I think maybe a 38.5 is good enough for a cut-off time, as Ads has done a 37.7, puts him second and very much safe from the drop. But as well, people in the pitch right now have to be thinking about when they do go out for their final run, if they need to, because the outlap round here it's longer than you think it is. Just Singapore it's a grueling track, and for all I say that we're sitting down playing a video game, it's you get an idea for how much like punishment the actual drivers go through for this track. It is very, very long indeed.
Yeah, and we saw
In
there.
terms of race time, I know someone's going to clip that.
Oh, yep. I muted my.
There we go. Out of context, FPRL. There we go. I've made the meme catalogue, lads. Here we go.
Well, we'll see about that. I'm sure Gary's clipped it already. I reckon he's spending the entire stream hovering over the clip button.
He's like a poacher right now, just at the ready. Someone say something. Someone do something. Clip, meme, sent.
Yeah. So Monkey Boy pointing out that yeah, Colin went P7, the 38.2, and of course he did that around here with no line, which is something he's still getting used to, and undoubtedly this is definitely one of the hardest tracks to master without the braking line if you're not used to it. Henkers has got himself up into P3. Really good time from him so far. He seems to have come a bit more to life after that unlikely win he got earlier in the season. And let's have a look around. Let's see who's currently... Well, we've got two drivers that haven't set a time yet. One of them is this man here, which is, of course, Jensen. Jensen, he's not going to be with us for too much longer, unfortunately, because he's got commitments in real life. But I think I speak for all of us when I say we love to see him on track. And you cannot switch to the bloody broadcast camera in this bloody sector. What is wrong with this game?
A lot. I know that was a rhetorical question, David, but yeah. All we can say is that thank goodness it's only a few weeks away from the new F1 game and new ways for Codemasters to completely mock it up.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not jinxing it, I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah, and well, let's be honest. If the next game's a flop as well, yeah, you don't really know about the future of the franchise. One bad game is okay; you can live with it. And as Jensen goes P1 with a 37.3, great lap time from the Haas driver. It looks like Driver's finally made his way out. And well, I'll tell you what: if you're Livs, you don't quite fancy your chances into getting into Q2 at this precise moment. He's just pulled into the pits. And there he is there in the middle of your screen. And as Henker's coming in as well, he's going to have a really fast turnaround. And I'm not convinced he's going to get out and set another lap, as Maguser is going to come out. But I don't think he'll need to, given that Liv's still in the pits. 155 on the timer, and it's going to have to be an awfully fast outlap for him to come in. As there you see it, his straight away his car coming out after the old dodgy animation has finished. As we see plenty of drivers. Yeah, he's not going to make it. So, well, he's for lack of a better word, he's fucked it. Unless AMS Drive invalidates. So, and no one's binned it, which is good. So all eyes on AMS Drive as he comes through the start of the second sector. Fourth gear then for that. I don't know corner numbers. This one's turn 9 because you said it earlier. So round the old Singapore sling. And it's a tricky right-hander that. You've got to take the right amount of curb and, well, essentially not go wide and hit it into a wall. But anyway, he is out of the tricky sector. AMS Drive now, his Sector 2 split is a 104, so let's see how he does in Sector 3. He's very smooth. He is one of the smoothest drivers that we have in the league, and it's almost a joy to watch. And here's hoping that we don't see him do a thing, a thing. I can't remember what. It wasn't. It was Renault, wasn't it? Oh, there you go. Drive goes fastest. It was a Renault at Crashgate, wasn't it? I don't know why I've got in my head Force India, but it was a Renault, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Renault.
Yeah. Okay. I can see the car, but it's like it's either the old Renault colours or the old Force India colours. Anyway, that is it. Livs is in the bin. He is the man going out in Q1. That means Dynamo Dan lives to fight another day, and as does Magusa. All these drivers going out on laps that they don't need to. So, yeah, that's very unfortunate for Livs, and I think that is probably his first Q1 exit. So a little bit of an upset. Of course, he came with a lot of hype from his previous league. I watched him race there. Ooh,
That's a brilliant lap.
where's Collateral Dad's done that from? 37.5. He's perhaps he is letting Leo race for him tonight.
That is a confidence booster, that for Collateral, lads.
Yeah, and I think he just got pipped to P4 there, and I don't know who it is that came over the line, but yeah, anyway, we've got...
It's Magusa.
It's Magusa. Yeah, beating
Can we just take the results from this? I think Ads will be happy with 4th.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, showing some good pace tonight. But, well, I would go through the list of drivers that we're losing, but...
I mean, we kinda did.
Yeah, it's Livs. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. He's off. He's gonna lives a little elsewhere on the outside. He ain't listening to me. It seems like the old rivalry between inter-team rivalry between Colin and Ads is back in full swing, as it always is.
We love to see it.
I'm gonna have a quick swig, because why not? Fight me.
Yeah, I'll fund it. There you go.
Bosh.
Up the channel points.
Yeah, I can actually. We got the Daddy, so I can confirm that one. And I did the drink, and it looks like Colin
Cheers,
has
Colin.
done the same for you.
Anyway, Q2, here we go.
Yeah. So, Collateral Dad's out first. Once again, is he going to set another Saito lap? I doubt it. Let's have a look at who's on what tyre. So at the moment, Razagainer and Jensen pre-selecting the mediums. I don't really know if they're really going to come out on that. But we will indeed keep an eye out, as I do see in the chat while we're on this outlap, as Ads is being pushed around by the AlphaTauri of Ermine. Monkey Boy has redeemed a truth or dare. Ooh, alright, Monkey Boy. Just in case this is your first rodeo, the truth or dare is you nominate a member of the comms team, so either me or Cruiser, and we decide whether we get a truth or a dare. And obviously, if it's a truth, keep it clean. If it's a dare, has to be done in stream. And there you go.
I've seen that coming.
He's come for you.
Right, do your worst. Let's go for a dare.
Oh.
Hopefully this one's better than Jake's there around Zandvoort.
Yeah.
The absolute setup it was. And the best love is they failed at their own trap, so...
Yeah, that was embarrassing, to say the least. Well, while we're waiting for that to come in for Monkey, the first man is on his lap. And, of course, that is Collateral Ads, who takes a nice smooth line through the first few corners there. Goes wide on entry, but it gave him the best exit speed as Piggle with the score update. Sancho scoring for Man United.
Okay.
We're still waiting on the Monkey Man.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I don't really care too much about the English league. It's over and done with. Arsenal bottles.
Yeah, that must have been particularly heartbreaking if you're a Arsenal fan, which of course neither of us are, so we just found it funny.
Well, neither of us are.
Colin.
In all honesty, though, I did want to see Arsenal win it.
Truth be told, I don't want to see Man City win. So anyone that's not Man City win, I'm happy with that. But it is kind of funny to see the other half
Looking
of
at the fraud.
North London.
Looking at that fraud in P11 who says he's a City fan.
Yeah.
Glory, glory, Manchester City.
I wouldn't be surprised if the if what's his face tried to introduce that as a
Yeah,
chant.
they call it their own. They
Yeah.
call it their own, like they stole the Poznan.
Oh dear. Should we keep that to just Q2?
What's this? Oh no!
It could have been anything, but he still chose the two words. So
This man's getting 3 channel point redemptions. We have that as a command, yet he's wanting it done for free. Okay. Right, 10 minutes. Ermine, you better hope that lap time's quick enough. I know it isn't.
yeah, but it's still a good time nonetheless, as he is on top of the timings.
Can I take this with Q3?
Oh dear.
I've got to brace myself first. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I refuse. No.
Don't defy the channel points.
We really need to come up with forfeits or something like that.
Yeah.
I think this is actually a forfeit right now, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, that's the point.
Why did I choose this? Anyway, I'm getting a bit sidetracked. We're back to Q2.
Yep. Colin, you can't park there, sir. Cannot park there. So it looks like he went a little bit deep into the hairpin. So he's kind of frauded himself a little bit. But we move indeed. AMS Drive is invalidated on his opening lap, which is not ideal, especially considering he's not going to have the time to. In fact, he's not turned his ERS off, so he's going to go for a lap with just 17%. Well, he has set a 37.8. Maybe he was just doing that on an old set for a little bit of a delta to go by on his next run. Right, looks like Drapo's left the sesh, which is not ideal.
On it.
So at the moment, what have we got?
Getting
We've
back.
got Sam coming around the last corner, and there you go, a 1:37 dead from the Red Bull. Great lap. Great lap.
Didn't see it.
Sam.
Didn't see it. Doesn't count. I was Drepo. Thank you. You spared me.
Yeah. I think I might have to introduce a rule for no, you can't use the dare to do anything that would be another channel point redemption. That's probably fair.
Right, you know what? Next, I'll give a freebie next one. There we go.
Apparently Collins
I'll give
ran
it.
under the bridge, but didn't hit the
Huh.
wall. That's not ideal.
How you managed that? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you ride too much of the first curb? God knows. But anyway, in comes AMS Drive into pits. Going a little bit wide on the entry. Of course, here in Singapore, very tricky pit entry cruiser.
Yeah, you've got to be careful not to go too fast, otherwise you'll hop over the curbs and have to go over them for another lap.
And
Unless
probably get a
you
3-second penalty for the privilege.
what? No, it's 10 seconds. What are you on about?
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, no, it would be 3 seconds, but it doesn't surprise me if someone does get a 10-second penalty for gaining an advantage for missing a break point on into a pit lane. So roll on F123, please. Anyway, here comes Rob.
Yeah, you hold too
We'll
much
go
faith.
second.
You hold too much faith in them doing a half decent job. Right. Let's have a look then. Henker's around the last corner. It's a 37.9 with 5 minutes left to go on the session. That puts in P7, which is nowhere near safe as far as I am concerned. Jensen, meanwhile, is languishing down in P11. He's stuck on mediums at the moment. He will need to come in and put on a set of fresh softs in order to get himself into Q3 at this rate. Dynamo Dan, meanwhile, has gone P10. And that means for the moment has joined his teammate into Q3. And there is Jensen coming into the pits. Who's on a lap? Who is on a lap? It looks like Jock's on a lap. So let's have a look at the Williams driver. Let's see, a certain someone being goaded in the chat. None of that, Gary, please. So I think
You,
no, you're not dead. Well, I'm very glad.
no, but well, I certainly felt like it last night driving around the back half of the field. So I think you should know. I think you should know, Gary. You did commentate on the race. Oh wait, no, you didn't actually commentate anything on me because I had nothing to report. But I can report that the race was very fucking lonely.
Yeah,
So
but
that's my update.
it could be worse. You could have spun from the lead, and put it in the wall between turns 2 and 3. But
Well, I have to be leading the race to do that first, though.
that's not the point. It's almost a bigger bottle job than Arsenal.
Hey.
Right, is that coming over the hill? Is it a drive? It is a drive coming on to flying lap. 3 minutes 45 left in the session. Sam has retired at the top of the timing charts. As he is more than safe at this point. But both the Alpines at the moment in the drop zone. We're having a look at Drive at the moment. He's purple through sector 1. And I believe that is a legitimate purple because it has stayed so. At least until I mentioned the fact. So AMS Drive now coming through the old Singapore sling and kissing the inside curb of turn 12 maybe, don't know, but opting for third gear around the hairpin. Of course, it's going to give him the maximum traction he can get without absolutely lighting up his rear tyres. Got to be careful not to go too wide there on that exit. Of course, very easy to do with the DRS just before, but now coming through towards the Anderson Bridge. Is this the Anderson Bridge? I don't know. Or was it the other one? Fuck knows. Who
Oh,
cares?
Colin.
Oh, Collins. Collins defrauded himself, has he?
Yeah, invalidated in the final corner.
Oh no, that's this and next. He's going to have one more go. AMS drive comes across the line. He's the first driver in the 36s. What a lap that is.
What a no better driver for a freebie as well, so. Right, Gary, I'll join the catalogue. Ooh, daddy. There you go.
Fantastic.
There you go, Monkey Boy Kurt. I paid you back.
Yeah, and I can now... Well, I'll mark it down, because I don't think anyone's beaten that, to be fair. So Ermine then puts himself up into P3. He will be safe with that time. Drepo then, last chance saloon, cross the line. There goes Drepo, and that is a 36.749. The second driver in the 36s.
And I've just done the redemption as well for Monkey Boy Kurt. And you were right to say that Yanni was hovering over the clip button because he's just caught me. There you go. I've been caught with a murder weapon in hand. I have now been done for.
Yeah. I don't understand the big hoo-ha over it. It's like just 2 words.
It's because I don't I'm in Belgium.
Yeah, but it's such a big deal to Gary. I don't understand.
I think it was because I caught him unaware. So he's wanted to get me back.
Yeah, that was Raza Gamer.
well.
I think he lightly tapped the wall there, and that could really damage not just his car, but his chances of getting into Q3 if that has caused any damage at all. Although he is still going for the moment. Now, let's have a look who else is in the drop zone. Everyone's out. That is in the drop zone. So Jensen now is coming around the last corner. It's going to be a 36.994. That puts him into 3rd place. And safely through to Q3. Let's have a look at Raza then. Oh, he's dropped it. He's dropped it. He's invalidated. And he's got rid of his wing for good measure. Why not, indeed? Fair play.
He's actually went over the line doing that. Yeah, he's taking the lap of shame.
Yeah. So in the drop zone at the moment is championship leader Ads.
He's not getting out of it.
Maggie's invalidated. Oh, Ads is invalidated as well. I obviously missed that before. So, 2 big hitters could very well be out. Henkers is up by 1/10 and 1/4 coming into Sector 2. Sector 3 then, 3 3/4 tenths up on his best. Will it be enough? It could very well be, looking at the time deltas, but gets on the inside curve there a bit too much. He might have lost some time there. Now under the bridge, holds 3rd gear around the outside, and now holding 3rd gear through these the last chicane of the lap. Now all he has to do is navigate this last corner well, and doesn't invalidate on the exit.
There you go.
Great stuff from Henkers. His teammate, unfortunately, on the other hand, unable to replicate what happens. So, well, that's not ideal for Dynamo Dan. He's done well though, as Razagamer HD he did go over the line, but it was before the checkered flag, so he is having a very awkward lap driving around with no front wing, and we saw him there missing his braking zone. Hopefully he keeps it out of the wall for the sake of his team's budget.
Now comes the point where he retires on track to save us some time.
No, it's fine. You can drive as slow as you want, just don't... Oh, he's not making this.
There you go.
Oh dear.
Doesn't speed just took the line as well. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Is that TS9 in the chat writing an essay?
Yes, it is. And Monty Boy Kurt saying that Collateral Lads made it into Q3.
Yeah, Collateral Dads into Q3, answering the critics in P10. and just about scraping through with a 37.7. However, that does mean we are losing some big names here in Q2. Razagamer in P15, Colin P14, P13 Dynamo Dan, and the big shocks of the session. Ads going out, he will start from P12 tomorrow, and Maguser, who will be starting P11.
Yeah, quite a few heavy hitters there in Q2, and I think 4 of the 5, no offence to Dynamo Dan, I think personally, just this is just me saying this, but regardless, P13, it's still a good performance for, of course, for Dynamo Dan, but the big surprise, as you said, Ads and C Davies as well getting knocked out in Q2, but it's a bit of a shaped up grid though for Q3 and for the race, so I think we're in for a good one this evening.
Yep, and I'm going to go out on a limb and pre-select Collateral Ads, see if he comes out first. We'll find that out. Oh, no.
Oh, there's an Alpine. There goes AMS Drive.
Oh,
Nope,
just
you were right.
see pipped out
It's
in front
Clara,
of him.
lads. Yeah, he just, well, I mean, technically you were right, you were wrong, but right.
Yep, such is my skill. Not,
Actually, no, you were wrong. It was Jensen who was out first.
shocking, absolutely shocking. Oh dear. Right. Um, so let's read this essay from TS9.
I think it's a summary as to Red Bull's Tier 1 championship. Obviously, Ali with other commitments and some other drivers as well, not being, just haven't been showing up, but is what it is.
Yeah. Death Taxes and Alfa Romeo Q1 elimination cannot indeed be used this week. I'm just going to have to think of a funnier joke, I reckon.
But it's still the risk of invalidation, so...
Absolutely, as TS9 is throwing shade on ads. We can't be having that. It's not good enough. Anyway, mark that one as done. Have you taken your Cocoms drink from 11 minutes ago?
Yes, I did.
Cracking stuff. Mark that as complete. And just for you, ads, I appreciate you, sir. So this one's for you.
Bosh.
Bosh.
As AMS Drive is about to get underway. First run in Q3.
Yep, and the Alpine crosses the line, but not before opening the DRS as he goes into turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. Very rapid changes of direction here. And now rounds the deceptively hard turn 4 as he opens up for the second DRS, well technically first DRS zone of the lap, and hits the brakes and goes down into what I can assume is 4th gear. I wouldn't know because I didn't have the thing up. So yeah, easy to notice how wide drivers are going on the entrance to turn 9. Maybe something that I have to look at doing. Really maximising the track. But the yellows are out. Why are the yellows out? I assume that is Splitter Flipper getting out of the way of Drepo. But AMS Drive still soldiers on with his lap. Down into 4th gear for that turn. And now into Sector 3 proper. Basically the slew of 90-degree turns. And you see flirting with disaster, nearly touching the walls. So often is AMS Drive. He knows how to get the most out of the cars in this game, and across the line he comes. That's a 36.5 as Jensen comes in behind a 37.1. Looks like Sam, he's just starting his lap. So Collateral Ads will be the next one to come across the line, and he's rounding the final corner. 137 point... No, a 138.0. So most likely to be a used set of tyres there, or maybe just didn't quite get it hooked up.
And here comes Ermine on 36.9. Puts him in the front row currently. And Flipper actually making a mistake on their first run. So fair play to them, kept out of the way of everyone else, and can now go for their first proper run of the session. We got Sam heading down towards the Esplanade Bridge now, getting a very nice slipstream there, I think, from one of the Hasses. I think that's actually from Jensen, who's torn along very nicely, but he's not getting out of the way of him. He's holding up Sam, and that's really compromised his lap. Sam having to back off, and I think the Haas only just realised that he didn't see him. Henkes is down around the final corner, it's invalidated, and Dreppel just behind the Red Bull, still on their current lap, and might be the next one to actually get something on the board.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for Drepo. He's of course now got two cars in front of him that could hold him up. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully the Haas has got his rear view mirrors on now. Although no, both drivers pull into the pits. Drepo, big lift in the last corner, but he does come across the line. 400ths of a second faster than AMS Drive.
This is going to be good.
Yeah.
This is going to be so close.
And we're only a few minutes in to the session, and the fraud himself hasn't why didn't that work?
Oh no.
Thank you. I've no idea why that didn't work.
Well, pole for pole is currently in the process of being worked on. So inaugural laps are in, and draw it to the chat. Cast your vote when the poll is up, because it will be it'll be a very, very quick poll, around 2 minutes, I would imagine, before we get underway for the final run. But goes on that subject, I think looking at these times, as Henk is just doing one of their in laps right now, there's that 1:30 and he's nowhere near the final corner. So I think it's just to get a banker lap on the board for the Ferrari. 5 minutes left to go. Actually, I think Henk is going to abandon this and go in the pits. Yes, he is. As saying as though outlap and in-lap round here it's very deceptive. So I think Henk is making the right call there to go in the pits. And the OSI boy confirming that it was Jensen who blocked Sam on their first run.
Absolutely disgraceful from Jensen. He's of course approaching his retirement. His mind is not as quick as it used to be, but you've got to do better than that, Jensen. As the poll for pole is indeed live then, ladies and gentlemen. Just a 3-minute poll, because someone forgot to do it earlier on in the session.
Shocking.
Yeah. And, well, let's have a look. Split Flipper has come out early on. He's got that banker time at the moment, and that will, well, it won't really give him, unless he's lost all the time in Sector 3. It's really not going to give him much in terms of a delta. But we'll watch him anyway. The nice, lovely McLaren getting all squirrely out of turn 8 through turn 9. He's got to be careful on those rear tyres. Of course, very easy to overheat in this game, and especially at this track. You can see it most of the time when people spin. It will be the last corner, and it will be because their tyres are on fire.
Totally wasn't muted there.
Bosh. Who's muted?
Yeah, totally wasn't muted there when I was about to say something. But nothing really to report, I think, just because, well, everyone's prepping themselves for the final run. AMS Drive just going around turn 8 now, as I think Flipper is ready to get us underway for their final run in Q3, as now everyone starts to spill out of the pit lane.
Yep, 2 minutes 37 left on the timing board. So let's have a look as Splitter Flipper. Oh no.
That's unlucky. Was that Jensen again? No, it was Rob.
Yeah, his
Gunter
teammate
Steiner has
just
smashed a
behind him.
walkout door. Both of his drivers have made him out to be a bunch of you know what.
Yeah, that's a poor showing from the Haas team.
To be
Maybe
fair though, to be fair though to Rob, I don't think there's much he should have done.
could have looked. If you ask
No,
me,
I mean
but
apart from the obvious.
yeah. But never mind. Splitter Flipper will carry on. Let's have a look at Drive, who is now starting his final run. A minute 40 left on the clock, so this is pretty much going to be it. One mistake, and you really do have to put your foot down, take a lot out of these tyres to get it round back in time. Drepo has won your pole for pole then, so nobody really in the chat thinking that Drive, apart from the one vote for Drive, I think Drive has got a really good lap in him, and I reckon we'll see him in the low 36s if he hooks it correctly. The yellows are out in sector 3. Who'd have thought it? It's a bloody traffic jam. And it looks like the start of that is going to be collateral ads, and the one of the horses behind, followed by Ermine, as they all sort themselves out. They will all go again, so there won't be a repeat of, was it
Monza.
Monza? Yes, of course it was Monza. Oh, that was a farce. So everyone now on their lap, apart from, is Henkers on a lap or is he on an out lap? I think he's on an out lap. So across
Yep,
the
flying
line.
lap now for Henkes.
Never mind, let's hop back with Drive, who is 3 tenths up, coming into the final corner. Touches the curb on the inside and powers to the line, and it is a 136.1. What a lap from Drive.
And Drepo, over to you.
Yeah, it's the lap that dreams are made of. Drepo is 3 thousandths down through sector 1. We'll watch him now coming through sector 2, through turn 9, as now towards the Singapore sling. As he's really, really smooth through these corners. A touch of correction on the outside there, but coming through the hairpin now. Getting on the power nice and cleanly. And we'll see what his delta says. He's 2 tenths up in sector 2. So let's carry on with him, as Sam Geno has only got P3. Jock is in P4 as things stand. We'll hop back with Drepo. Collateral Ads does not improve, but 37.2, very good time indeed. Ermine in P6, but all eyes on this man right here as he comes around the last corner. 5. It's only P2. It's only P2.
Wow.
7 thousandths in it. Let's have a look at Henkers, who's bottled his lap. Oh, Henkers. Splitter Flipper.
Wow.
He's not having fun in the chat. Not overly impressed by the fact that there are drivers going a second faster than him. But
well, that, and he was very unlucky in this session. Just couldn't get a lap together at all.
And a big hello to Robin also in the chat, and that is all she wrote for
Robin.
qualifying. Everyone.
Yeah. And what an ending it was.
Yep, just 7 thousandths the gap between Drepo and Drive. Both these drivers giving it everything and just split by the narrowest of margins. But still, the race is yet to come, and dramas could very much unfold in the next hour. But there is your top 10 for tonight's race then. Soak it in, lads. We're going to have a very long very long formation lap, I should say. So we're going to go through it then.
Tell you
Henker's
what, though,
very
this
few
is
invalidations.
yeah. I mean, surprisingly, I would say a clean qualifying, but I think a certain McLaren would disagree. But they did say though for Q2, we've got a very mixed up grid for tonight's race. We've got very few people that are out of place on the grid. I think maybe looking at Flipper, he's about out of place down in ninth. Of course, all those casualties in Q2, collateral adds getting eighth place, which I think is a very solid effort for the Alfa Romeo driver. Henk is on a good run of form down in 10th, and AMS Drive and Drepo now almost in another league compared to everyone else, 4 tenths clear of the next closest driver. So I think there's the dual T-pose and mechanics. But I think we're in for a very interesting race tonight, David.
Yep, and it is going to start dry, as you guys see, but it is awfully hazy. I don't know whether that's the game. Clearly, the engineers are out there just feeling the humidity. They're all holding their arms out to check for light drops of rain, but I don't think they're forthcoming.
I think they'll be sweating a bunch though. At least actually just standing there.
Yep, no doubt, very high humidity in Singapore. All this talk about water, Cruiser.
Aha,
I'll be back in a minute.
very well. And well, unfortunately, you stuck with me, lads, for the pre-race build-up, post-qualifying session of the stream. We'll go with that, sure. So, throw us out to the chat. Any bold predictions for the race as to maybe an unlikely podium or anything that's going to unfold during the race? Because the tier threes last night, very hectic opening few laps, and it just seemed to simmer down a little bit towards the end stages of the race. And Silverside Boy getting in very early with our safety car question. Of course, it has to be an actual safety car, and that's if Bernd Mylander has went off of their strike from last night. Three virtual safety cars and not one full safety car. So, Silverside Boy, get your question in, and we'll just scroll up the chat and find it if the time ends right. Nigel saying that someone is to be out of ERS by lap 3. I'll throw that out to everyone else who's watching as to who do you think it is.
I think we all know who it is.
We'll leave it at that. I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but just a little, like nudge the shoulder, point the big glowing red arrow over them, and say them.
Yep,
And so
but
far,
we've
it's
been wrong
so
before. So,
true. You'll have 1%.
right. Still waiting.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. Imagine top of the hours when we'll go.
Yeah, absolutely. Which means, uh, well, there you go. There's some confidence for you after his bad luck in Q3. Split a flipper, confident he can take the win today. I would love to see it happen, sir. And I would love to see the Shui celebration from yourself after doing it. Oh,
Nigel with another football update saying that Tottenham are bad. That's not really an update, Nigel. I think that's more of a fact for this season.
yeah. Let's. Why not? Let's
Up,
let's give a full update
up the Rashford.
as it seems like I will be in a good mood if I check what the score is. Let's hop on
Yep,
board.
happy to know that it's 2-0 Man United. And Marcus Rashford has scored just on half time. And in other news, not that people would care, Everton are in the mud and Southampton are in the mud.
They are indeed, but Newcastle flying high, of course, especially
This-
after the 6-1 thrashing of Tottenham Hotspur last weekend.
I mean, it could be worse. It should have been 7-0 off of Liverpool, you know?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Or it could have been 7-1 off Liverpool. Just saying. Just saying.
Yep,
Before anyone has a cheeky dig, I know you would.
indeed you do. But
Hey.
anyway, here we
Oh,
are.
we've
We're
been
on
joined
the
by someone.
Yep, nice of you
Cormac's
to join
joined
us,
us.
Cormac. And better late than never. Unfortunately, yeah, the Merc driver is missing out on qualifying. But he will be starting the race from the back, and that is where we shall begin this grid rundown. If first I can put the tyres up. So a real mix then. It looks at first glance, we've got Cormac in the Merc in P17.
Lives nearly just bashed into a wall.
Yeah, living dangerously towards the
Hey.
back.
Oh, yeah, he's
This is not Tokyo. This is Singapore.
some X Games there, I think, from Libs.
Yeah, has Razagamer in front of him in P15, also on the mediums. His good friend, Colin, who is still crying from last night, I'm sure, in P14.
Ben.
Dynamo Dan in P13, then the first runner on the hards as the championship leader. Ads sits in front of him in P12. P11 then is going to be Maguser. Maguser, of course, pretty much a hit and miss driver so far this year, but he has shown some really good pace at points, and even though it's Singapore, I would definitely say he has the ability to overtake a few tonight. Henkers is in the top 10, and let's have a look. That's P9, it's Splitter, Flipper. Do you want to go for the top 8? I know you do.
Why not? P8 is Collateral Ads backing up the pack a little bit to try and let the cars in front cool down the tyres. How considerate. I think Flipper's having any problems with that. P7 is the first Haas of Rob Kelly. P6 is AlphaTauri of Ermine. P5 is the only driver in the top 10 to be on medium tyres, and that is Jock in the Williams. P4 goes to the second Haas of Jensen. P3 goes to the Red Bull Reserve of Sam Geno. And on the front row this evening, separated by 7 thousandths of a second, and now lining out for tonight's race is NVR Drepo and Mr. AMS Drive.
Yeah, and as the lights start to come on, we wait the start of the race tonight. Away they go. It's a very, very slow getaway. At least it very much looks like it. And it looks like Sam's got a brilliant drive off the line. And they go side by side into turn 1 and all the way through to turn 3. Drepo is up the inside. Will he get the better drive? No, Sam is still there into turn 4. They're still side by side.
Here comes Jock.
And Jock now. Ooh, he had a little bit of a look, but those medium tyres, he has to make the best of them now. But that Haas is diving from nowhere. And the other one very nearly follows him through. Jensen, that was a bit rude. Shocking from the Haas driver. Obviously giving zero shits tonight. As AMS Drive looks to pull away. His gap is 9 tenths at the moment. Drepo seems to have successfully fended off Sam for the moment. And he is going to be looking to build that gap before it gets a little bit out of hand. That's not what these drivers are thinking though. Jock falling a little bit back from Jensen. Not going to be able to have a go into this corner here. No, not close enough, but that grip should start coming to him, and he should really push to the back of Jensen to get a move past as soon as possible. But very nice, clean lap one for the most part. I'm not quite sure why Livs is so far back. He doesn't look like he's got any damage, which I am very pleased to see about, although he does nearly self-impose the wall on the front of his car, going under the bridge as Drive goes fastest. Oh, split of flippers in the pits. Is that damage for the McLaren man? The McLaren man who so boldly predicted his win. This is obviously just an alternate strategy. Did he even take a wing change?
He didn't. His flipper didn't take a wing change, so obviously a scheduled pit stop there from the McLaren team, but that's surprisingly early to get off of the hard compound tyres, and that's now put Flipper an absolute calendar of time behind the rest of the field. Livs that might have got a bit bogged down as well at some point, because we did see them on the formation lap getting a little bit squirrely, put it at the least. But surprisingly, a very tame opening lap and a half from the Tier 1 drivers. And Drive, getting the start he needed, pulls and still has a 9/10 of a second lead over Drepo. And throughout the midfield as well, Cormac up 4 places to 13th, Raza up 3 places to 12th. Mad User and Asmine up a few places here, as Mad User trying to make the move onto lateral ads, sends it, just gets it stopped in time, and just about avoids any front line damage, but Collateral Ads remaining stationary in 8th at the start, and has got Ermine and Rob Kelly in front of him. And seeing as well, he got a bit of a split happening throughout the field as Jock is heckling Jensen throughout this final sector. 1.6 seconds between the top 3 and this train that's being led by the Haas so far.
Yeah, and Jock really needs to get past, but Jensen is defending early on in this race, and it's not really helping either of their races. As DRS is now enabled on this lap, I expect to see Jock make light work of this as he will rounds this turn 5 for whatever it is at a higher speed. And there you go, more confidence. You could visibly see.
Oh, Cormac's gone!
Oh, Cormac, no! After that
Oversteer.
great start, as there goes Jock up the inside of Jensen. Goes a little bit deep, but Jensen doesn't quite have the overspeed to try and get the move back. Let's see how that affects the rest of these racers then. Are they just going to slot in behind Jock, as he could very well slowly creep his way up towards the top 3? The gap is at the moment 2 seconds and growing ever so slightly. We'll keep an eye on that one, but for the moment it all looks very even between the front 3. 7 tenths back, then
Mad User sent it on Ads!
Oh,
and there goes Williams Ads, as Dynamo Dan took a rendezvous down the escape road.
Yeah,
he tried to make a move there on Dynamo Dan, but didn't quite work.
Yeah, not quite ideal there. Ideal line from Dynamo Dan, who has slotted back into P13. Hopefully with no damage, as we see Ads now. He's not in a particularly familiar position this far down the grid and in the middle of a DRS train. It takes some mentality to get yourself out of one of these without, you know, the kind of obvious way of just going slower. And we see the gap at the front between the front 3 still hanging around 7 tenths each. Drepo obviously gaining a little bit under the DRS zone, but Jock not making too much of an impression on these medium tyres. He's gained about 2.5 tenths thus far, although you could see it's all about confidence with these tyres. They're only probably going to last another 7-8 laps, and then they will start dropping off fairly quickly. And yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that as the gap now down to 1.4.
Cormac, he's having a torrid time right now. Another yellow flag in sector 1, and I think that late arrival has rather been negated for the lack of practice there for the Mercedes driver. But Ads, Trepo and Sam still, they're holding their own, but Jock actually really starting to make an impression now. 1.2 seconds, he's made up nearly a second within a lap and a half. And even with the DRS pull, these guys have got to watch out because Jock, despite being on those medium tyres, is on a different strategy. He's absolutely flying in these opening laps, and once he's got by Jensen, he's got a 2.5 second lead already towards the Haas duo, and now Ermine, Collateral Ads, Mad User, and the ads in the Williams. I think I might just refer to one as Collateral, the other one two ads, just as for sake of simplicity. Henkes and Raza all starting to get held up by the Haas Express.
Yep, just showing a quick ERS update on Collateral Ads for Piggle in the chat. He's still got around 60%, which is more than you can say for Jock, who is down at single digits then. Could that be the end of the charge? The gap's still at 1.3, 1.4 seconds as we move on to lap 5. Is he used too much of that energy too early? The light is flashing. You've still got 26 laps to go. But now we see the two Haas's.
Oh, Drepo's gone!
Oh, Drepo, no! And yeah.
I think he hit the wall.
Oh, let's keep an eye out for damage. Hopefully there isn't any.
He's got a front wing damage.
Yeah, so Drepo sensibly moving out of the way of the other drivers. Hopefully he can nurse that one back to the pits. Collateral Ads then up into P7, following these guys through, and that does of course promote Jock into P3. 1.4, 1.5 seconds the gap. Maybe these two, with just a group of two at the front, maybe they can form some kind of cabal and, you know, just pull away by themselves. Let's see, as the two Haases still very, very close to each other. Obviously, no team orders thus far. Jensen is holding tight in P4 as Drepo indeed comes in from the pits, puts on the mediums, and I think it's safe to say those probably not going to the end of this race. We saw last night. Who did we see?
I think it was Valente. Took them around 24 laps, 23 laps before they gave up on him, and frustratingly kind of summed up the mood for the Red Bull team that night. But Drepo, I think he's got no option. He's got to go for it to the end, or maybe hope for a safety car to try and bring him back in this race, which went catastrophically wrong within the space of a lap.
Yeah, as well, it's a safety car would be golden, but he does at the moment have some lovely clean air. He won't want to push too early on those tyres if he wants to take them to the end, but he has got to make the most of that 22-second gap in front and maybe get some ridiculous undercut with the extra speed he will have on those fresh mediums. Meanwhile, the Haas update, well, they're still sat behind one another, and surely at this point Rob Kelly's being held up by his partner here. How frustrating must this be for Rob Kelly?
I don't know, I think this could potentially be team tactics at Haas though, but I think maybe from a little bit of experience as well from last night, sitting behind Bluntblade in the Mercedes for around 5 or 6 laps, it's so difficult to follow a car through this track. At least I can't be really speaking for anyone or everyone when I say that, but just with so many corners in this track, you've got to build such a strong rhythm, and ERS as well. If you drain your battery too soon, you're going to struggle really badly to regain that throughout the course of the race, which I think is what Jock might be struggling with, as he's still below single digits. He's not went up from the battery, and that gap between Jock and Jensen is still grew to around 5 seconds. So I don't know if this is strategy at Haas, but potentially considering a swap between the drivers, just so maybe Rob can try and tow Jensen towards Jock, because those tyres will start to fall off in a few moments as Rob's looking for it. He's thinking about it in towards the hairpin, which is, to be honest, a bit of a foolhardy move. But one driver who's really been lighting the exit off of the bridge is Mad User. He's been very confident on the brakes in towards turn 14, and he's been behind Collateral Ads since the start of this race. He's tried it a few times at the end of the S1R bridge, and he's just, as I mentioned, he's just got so much confidence on the brake pedal that if he does have that chance, he will take it. And I think Collateral Lads had their warning at the start of this race, as Ad's getting a little bit antsy as well behind the back of Mad User, and all of these cars are giving us very entertaining racing, must be said, despite the single file queue.
Oh,
Collateral Lads is gone! No!
Fortunately, all wheels stay on the car, but Collateral Lads spins at the last corner. It was going so well until it wasn't. We're going to see
back up at Haas. They're thinking about a swap here, and Jensen's lights flashing, and I think this has got to be Rob's chance, but they're not making it easy for him as Jensen gets shoved wide by their teammate, and they're still to be level pegging in towards turn 6. Jensen, that's very late on the brakes. That's going to open the door for Ermine, who gets by Rob and is now going to filter ahead of one of the Haases, and is now maybe getting two of them now in towards turn 9. Ermine has done the double on the Haases and just about gets ahead. And that is not what the Haas team needed. As Mad User's gone.
Oh no, and contact. So Henkers is gone.
It's all kicking off.
Oh, tier 1, what are you playing at?
And Jameson's gone as well.
Oh, what is going on?
It's all going on here in Singapore.
Jesus, poor old Rob gets squeezed by his teammate and in the end has got past, but only through a mistake by Jensen himself. It's shocking, absolutely shocking lack of teamwork being shown tonight, in sheer contrast to last night's showing from the AlphaTauri lads, and Jensen having to pit. He's only done 9 laps. How are we only on lap 9?
It's a very long track, so enjoy yourself on Sunday.
Yeah, Ad's also coming into the pits, and Henker's not suffering.
Right, Nigel, that's plenty. I'm just going to delete that. Anyway, as we were.
Yeah, watch thou's tongue, Pickle. As also in the pits, obviously, Collateral Ads. He's going to put the mediums on, and he's probably also going to try and go to the end, but I'll tell you what, that has unleashed a slew of drivers as...
Oh, Jensen's stopped.
Has he lost his front wing?
Yeah, he lost his front wing. What happened there?
Is that on pit exit? It's a straight line.
It might have been, because I saw him that he might have either reset the track, or if he's on a racing rig, it's like the brake pedal just went full on, like he just couldn't move. I think Jensen's dropped it out of the pits on those colder tyres.
That is not ideal for the man.
Yeah, well, at least he's let Collateral Lads through, so there's that. But as well, trying to avert from the midfield here, AMS driving Sam Geno, who's actually not seen very much stream time whatsoever in this race. Gap at 0.6 of a second, and both of them are on, well, tell a lie, Sam's on nearly 3/4 of the ERS level as what AMS Drive has. Sam's on 80%, 80. AMS Drive is on 25.
Oh, yellows are out. Is that Jensen going through sector 2 very slowly? It is indeed. Rob Kelly also
Jensen
in the pits.
An undercut then for Ermine.
Yeah, so as you were saying, yeah, the ERS so much different. It is a lot easier to save ERS if you are the person following, and we can see that here. I'm quite surprised that Sam's not offered to take the reins for a little bit, but I don't suppose he needs to. The gap to Jock behind now 6 seconds. Yes, 6 seconds. Meanwhile, Liv's getting himself up into P6, so that is up 10 positions from the start of the race. Okay, down to some misfortune from other drivers on the track, but Liv's having a very good race thus far. Jensen speeds into the pits, and will that be all she wrote for the Haas tonight, or is he gonna at the very least, give us a one lap show. As he isn't quite last yet. Cormac, of course, now has been lapped. Let's hop towards the battle. Let's just stay with these guys. Why not? It is the closest one on the track. It'll be interesting to see who will be able to keep these medium compound tyres alive for the longest time, as the yellows are out in the first few corners. That's probably just a lap car moving out of the way. Although Jensen is... Oh, Jensen's binned it!
Oh, Jensen! And that's a full safety car. And that is going to bring Jock into play.
How has he done that? Has he just gone straight on or something?
I think Jensen straight lined it.
Well, he didn't quite straight line it, but he didn't. Surely, if he's done that, he's
took a fair shunt.
Disappointing for the Haas driver thus far. But anyway,
however, it's might bring Rob into play here.
Yeah.
So I think we do have a bit of a crash date going on here.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens as Rob Kelly has indeed pit. He's come out on the medium tyres. And we are now under safety car conditions. And we all know what safety car conditions means. Safety car.
You know what? You can just leave the image there to the left up, because I think that rather sums me up. So.
Well, to be fair, that is literally a picture of Ali.
Well, I suppose two of us. Oh, Livs.
I was what?
Livs. How have you done that? He's completely missed his braking point off of the Esplanade, and he's just went into the barrier.
Oh dear.
Oh, Livs. Right, I'll get the paper badge up.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but everyone in the top 4 have pitted. Mad User's pitted as well, so has Raza, Henkes. It's a no-brainer, you've got to pit it.
Yeah.
But it's about managing these tyres to the end now for near enough everyone in the top 7.
Yeah, and while we are, of course, under safety car, we did have a couple of safety car questions. Gary owes us one from earlier, as Jake has also asked a question. Well, Jake has actually asked the question. Did Gary ask the question? Or was he saving it up?
I think Jake has asked the question first, but Gary redeemed it first.
Yeah, but did Gary actually... Oh, right, okay. So, well, get your question on the go. So let's answer Jake's question.
Yes, and Jake's question is regarding, finally Formula 1 is back this weekend. It's regarding the new sprint qualifying format that they'll be trialling out in Baku, I think it is, in which obviously it's completely changed up. So Friday, the format going Friday is a single practice session and qualifying for the main race on the Sunday, and Saturday being a full sprint day, being a sprint qualifying, which is kind of like one-shot qualifying in the Formula 1 game, and charming, I've seen that in the Twitch chat, and the sprint race as normal. So I suppose as main comms, David, you have the reins first.
Right. Well, in a sentence, I just think it's a complete waste of time. I just don't see the point. They're trying to make things more exciting, but what they're doing is they're effectively killing the excitement of sprint qualifying. It's the sprint race is basically worth bugger all now. What's the bloody point? And then
To be fair,
mandating the medium tyres for the qualify. Ah, it's just a load of rubbish. Corporate
yeah,
bullshit. But anyway,
classic American. Anyway,
yeah. What about you?
but
What's your thoughts? Please be less negative than me.
well, I don't think there's much to be positive about, to be honest. If it was just a sprint race, absolutely. I don't see the point in a sprint qualifying, but I don't know. I'm okay with there being like 3 sprint races because it's spread evenly. It's fine. It's it doesn't need to have 6 of them throughout a full calendar, despite there being like 20 races. It just say like 2010 for example, just simple practice qualifying race. You were always excited for the Sunday. Now they're just having almost as soon to be having racing across the full 3-day weekend. So you're like, well, there you go. Well, no. Oh wow, they won. Cool. Oh wow, that happened. Cool, fine. It's normalizing a very, very exciting sport.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
absolutely.
know
Of
I
course,
know I was meant to be more positive, but I kind of
yeah.
folded it up on a piece of paper and
It's
just threw
kind
it out
of
the
like,
window.
well, on the note of being positive, it is going to be more exciting for the people that are there, which is nice. Of course,
Mm,
the Azerbaijani capital of Baku. The circuit itself is lined with apartment complexes, which, well, are very, very expensive to say the least. And as well as those who own the apartments themselves, quite a few of them rent them out for extortionate prices in the day. So, well, someone's making a killing, and well,
well,
it's not me. So
the,
jealous.
I mean the thing is though, to have a sprint race around Baku, I'm excited for that because Baku usually throws up a good race, and I'd argue at multiple points in its stay in the calendar, it's been the best race of the season. Just it's either Baku's just hit and miss, either it's fantastic or it's a waste, for at least from a spectator. But hopefully, I'll give the format a chance, see if it's okay. But I don't know. I think if for a track like Baku in terms of qualifying, it's really gonna help out the likes of like Red Bull. This season, it's gonna help out Red Bull and possibly Aston Martin. We don't know, but maybe someone can throw a surprise. We'll see.
Yeah, Piggle being the voice of positivity, then it seems, as we look set to go back
Yeah,
to green flag racing after this lap. Um,
no, I can back that point, Nigel. Obviously, adding to the fact that the teams have to get it right, but it should. I get F1's about precision, but it's the point of being precision and forced to perfection. You know, if that's
absolutely.
even if there's even a difference in that.
Back in a sec.
Very well.